yourself. Good evening. I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange live on Citizen Television. Tonight, you know, if it's Wednesday, it's all about JKL. My guest for the entire hour, a man who left the largest telecoms company in East and Central Africa to work for Gava. Who does that? Well, Nzioka Waita did. He is now Deputy Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, in charge of delivery. So the question we're asking the Jubilee government, and please, we're urging all of you to take part. The question we're asking, has the Jubilee government delivered on its promises? Simple yes or no. We're going to be discussing that, demystifying that, talking about all the issues you want to talk about: infrastructure, health, corruption, and moving forward. Let's discuss that in the next hour or so. Text us 22422. Twitter handles at Nzioka Waita, at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag, as always, JKLive. And JKLive begins right now, tonight. Chase Bank moves to court to recover 38 billion shillings stolen by senior managers. Kalonzo and Mudavadi demand ODM's apology over revelation that Raila Odinga is NASA's preferred candidate. ODM goes first as official date for party primaries finally dawns tomorrow. And corporal punishment refuses to die as video of Thika teacher assaulting pupil goes viral. And welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language translator tonight is Douglas Okaya. Now, in yet another case that has opened the lid on Kenya's banking sector corporate fraud, Chase Bank receiver managers have moved to court seeking to recover 6.5 billion shillings from former directors and shareholders. Now, the suit filed at a Nairobi court this afternoon also offers a glimpse of how the masterminds of the scheme spent, get this, over 30 billion shillings they are suspected to have siphoned from the bank. Patrick Agunza begins our broadcast.
It is a web of deceit and a movie-like elaborate thieving scheme that the Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation says was masterfully designed and concealed from the books of Chase Bank that it currently manages under receivership. In suit papers filed before the Milimani court, the troubled bank is seeking to recover more than 6.5 billion shillings from the former directors and shareholders and prime assets acquired by 9 individuals and their 11 companies under pretext that they were owned by Chase Bank. Topping the wanted list is Zavrullah Khan, the former chairman of Chase Bank, who the suit papers describe as the architect of the scheme. His longtime group CEO Duncan Kabui features prominently as his right-hand man oiling the Chase Bank gravy train. This, the receiver managers avowed, was delivered through a number of third-party companies disguised as special-purpose vehicles, but whose benefits funded personal fortunes for the accused. From the windfall generated from the schemes, it is alleged the beneficiaries funded lifestyles that mirrored the trappings typical of billionaire playboys. Zaf, for instance, as the mastermind is known among friends and industry players, floated in a sea of fine things and prime properties, funded in part by hefty bonuses and consultancy fees he awarded himself for his own version of a job well done. But the petitioner claims this was contrary to the banking industry corporate governance guidelines. So hardworking and industrious was Zaf in his own estimation that over a course of his 10 years at the helm of the bank, he raked in some 2.2 billion shillings from the bank in personal expenses. These included a one-off bonus payment of 1 billion shillings, which was to be staggered for a period of 5 years, but that was paid in a record 45 days. Some 75.6 million shillings was also paid to him after stepping down as the chairman as consultancy fee in monthly installments of $50,000. Chase Bank claims Zaf subsequently embarked on property binge buying, including treating his wife Sheila Khan to a Ferrari Dino that cost 45 million shillings. As if this was not enough, Zaf also bought the love of his life another vehicle, Chevrolet Corvette, the limited edition that only left him 12.7 million shillings poor. Both cars are registered in the US. In collusion with his then group CEO Kaboi, Zaf laid out a well-crafted plan that saw money from the bank siphoned to set up companies through which they transacted private business. Some of these companies include Genghis Capital, Renacimento Global, 950 Limited, Boulevard Properties, and 740 Investments, firms which have been enjoined in the suit. The case seeking to recover the money from the directors only comes 2 weeks after Chase Bank's receivership was extended by another 6 months by the regulator and bid offer released for those interested in injecting capital to it. The bank was placed under receivership in April 2016 following an overnight run on deposits. The CBK then said the decision was aimed at protecting it from collapse. It has since resumed operations under statutory management. These suspect dealings involving the said former directors and shareholders of the lender puts to question audit and regulatory procedures in the country's banking sector. Patrick Igunza, JKL, Nairobi.
Thank you, Patrick. Now on to NASA news. And Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and his ANC counterpart Musalia Mudavadi have demanded a public apology from ODM over a statement by its Secretary General confirming a proposal to name Raila Odinga the NASA presidential candidate. Now, the duo that met today insists no such deal has been arrived at yet, and the statement by Agnes Zani was premature. Francis Gashuri with the latest on NASA squabbles.
The ODM Secretary General's statement stoked embers of dissent within NASA, exposing the vicious scramble for the coalition's presidential ticket. Her claims that a document leaked to the media last week detailing the NASA power-sharing lineup was accurate, sparking fury among supporters of Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and his Amani Congress counterpart Musalia Mudavadi.
Ikiwa ni kweli katibu mkuu wa ODM alizungumza yale aliyazungumza, basi hana budi ila withdraw publicly, kwa sababu we have not agreed. Nothing is agreed until it is agreed. Oh, yes. Yeah? This is a position. And so we do not have a flag bearer as of now. Oh, yes.
Mudavadi held a 20-minute closed-door meeting with Musyoka at the Wiper House and termed Zani's statement personal, even after his supporters in Kakamega staged protests to contest the lineup that designated him as the chief minister in a NASA government.
And the formal communication about a decision shall come from the core principles.
Now question.
All right? So any other communication on the side is people now getting jittery.
The NASA coordinating committee was on a firefighting mission, insisting all the documents that had been leaked to the media were inconclusive.
It is not true that there's a split within the National Super Alliance on any question.
But the document that has caused friction in NASA originated from the coordinating committee.
There was this tremendous leakage of the work of the National Coordinating Committee. If they cannot themselves guard their own secrets, then they're also part of this confusion. Wewe wenyewe pengine loyalty zao haziko pale. Kwa sababu inawezekanaje wanatoa tu habari taarifa kiholela. So we also sounding them out.
Supporters of each of the four principles have been rooting for their respective leader to be the NASA flag bearer, testing the coalition unity.
Tafadhali bwana, give us a break. If this is agreed, it is going to be announced. So the fact that it's not been announced means that it has not been agreed. And the world is not dying because it has not been agreed.
The coordinating committee reprimanding Zani and her ANC counterpart Godfrey Osotsi over public exchanges on the NASA lineup.
But if it's something official, I mean, we are men and women enough. The day when it turns out that there's no agreement, we'll come and tell the public we have not been able to achieve an agreement. But we are confident that we're moving forward. NASA is going to succeed.
All parties and coalitions have until the end of next month to submit their presidential candidates to IEBC for clearance. Francis Gashuri, JKL.
Thank you, Francis. Now, the lineup for the August elections contest begins to take shape from tomorrow, when political parties formally start their nominations. First off the blocks will be ODM, with 3 counties going to the polls to pick candidates for all but the presidential position. And as Sam Ogina reports from Busia, the primaries may be the only election that matters in parties' strongholds.
Operations on the busy Busia-Uganda highway were temporarily halted as aspirants jammed the highway in a last-minute push for the coveted ODM ticket. An ODM flag in Busia is highly prized given the party popularity in the region. The convoy snaking through the highway, bringing traffic to a near standstill. Security officers keeping vigil to ensure no clashes of supporters on the eve of the party nominations. While the politicians made their last pitch, the local elections board branch was ensuring everything was in place for the exercise, including dispatching of polling materials to the 175 polling centers across the county.
Kufikia saa 12 kura itaanza na itapata kila polling station iko tayari. Na pia tumeweka usalama wa kutosha.
With tension and violence punctuating the build-up to the nominations here in Busia, the elections board was sounding a warning.
Candidate yeyote ambaye atajaribu kuleta vurugu ama kuharibu uchaguzi kwa njia yoyote, tuko karibu kukabiliana naye. Kwanza yeye atatolewa katika orodha ya wawaniaji. Kwa vile hata kama ameshinda na ni yeye amesababisha vurugu, hatutapatia certificate.
The governor's ticket is attracting the most attention, with the incumbent Sospita Ojamong battling it out with Funyula MP Paul Otoma.
Sidhani vile wanachama wamejiandaa. Nafikiri kutakuwa na uchaguzi wa huru ambayo itakuwa na amani. Na vile hata mashirika ya serikali kuu kama polisi na idara zingine zimejiandaa, kutakuwa na uchaguzi ambao hautakuwa na vurugu yoyote.
If that process, as we expect of IBC, is going to be maintained by the party, then I see a very peaceful election, and I'm very confident that the will of the people of Busia will be respected by all.
Having been summoned by ODM's disciplinary team over chaos pitting their supporters, the duo now committing to peace.
Naomba tu watu washiriki uchaguzi bila vita na wangojee matokeo baadaye.
In Bungoma County, 150,000 ODM members will seal the fate of 137 aspirants, ultimately deciding who carries the ODM flag.
We have had a very good relationship with the security apparatus. We've already given them the names, the list of the polling station, and they have assured us that they have beefed up enough security to ensure that the exercise moves on very smoothly.
Tomorrow's nominations exercise will cover Busia, Bungoma, and Machakos counties. It is now down to the wire after months of bruising campaigns. Aspirants now face an acid test as the ODM party primaries kicks off on Thursday. Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, in Busia County.
Thank you, Sam. Now on to the battle for Nairobi. And as aspirants size each other in party nominations, Jubilee and NASA are brimming with confidence of running away with the lion's share of elected seats in Nairobi County. The rival coalitions are, however, cagey on the strategies they will be deploying to deliver their ambitions, as Sam Gituku reports.
Well, the opposition controls the city leadership through the governor's seat and majority of MCAs, where it has 43 out of the 85 elective seats. Jubilee boasts of 11 out of the 19 parliamentary seats in Nairobi. And now ODM is targeting 15 out of the 17 parliamentary seats. The party will have no candidate in Kasarani and Roysambu constituencies.
This time we'll do better than last year because the mwaka iliyopita we won 8 seats na tukapoteza 6. Na nia yetu kuhakikisha this time we get 13 constituencies.
For the governor's seat, NASA has settled on the incumbent Evans Kidero, deputized by Wiper's Jonathan Mweke, with no framework for sharing the remaining seats. 532 candidates will fight it out for ODM tickets for 85 MCA seats. In the woman representative slot, ODM has 3 aspirants, while Wiper has 1 candidate. In the Senate seat, ODM has only 1 aspirant against Wiper's 2. Wiper also has 6 parliamentary aspirants.
If the National Coordinating Committee cannot deliver on anything else, we want them to deliver on this formula. Every ward, every constituency, and the county. 1 candidate for NASA. That's what we are looking at.
As a NASA family, we are addressing that, and we will certainly get a convincing majority, a little bit over 50 seats rather than the kind of hung assembly like we had the last time.
A similar fierce battle is shaping up in Jubilee. 89 parliamentary aspirants are seeking the 17 constituencies in Nairobi. 7 women hope to unseat Rachel Shebesh for the woman representative, while 5 aspirants hope to replace Mike Sonko as the Nairobi senator. Sonko has shifted his ambitions to the governorship against Peter Kenneth and Margaret Wanjiru. Sources say Jubilee leadership is desperately seeking a consensus among rivals to preempt a potentially bitter fallout ahead of the nominations on Friday next week. 709 aspirants are in the race for Jubilee's ticket for 85 MCA slots. And so in a fortnight, it will be decision time for the Orange Party Nairobi chapter. The city aspirants remaining hopeful they will be accorded fairness in the high-stakes positions in the most important county in the country. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Sam. Now, a new InfoTrack poll indicates that Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto will have a hard time defending his seat from his closest challenger, Joyce Laboso. At the same time, Meru Governor Peter Munya leads his political nemesis, Kiraitu Murungi, by 12 percentage points, according to the poll released today. Hassan Mugambi reports.
According to the latest InfoTrack poll, Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto faces an uphill task defending his seat. The poll conducted on the 7th and 8th of April shows that if the general election was to be conducted today, Ruto would narrowly beat his closest challenger, Joyce Laboso, with 38.9% of votes against 37.7%. Ruto, who has been drumming up support for his Chama cha Mashinani party, has openly defied Jubilee and has been engaged in a supremacy battle with the Deputy President William Ruto. According to the poll, Jubilee remains the most popular party in Bomet with 73%, while Chama cha Mashinani is second with 12%. Only 4.1% of the 800 people polled say they support ODM. In Meru County PNU's Governor Peter Munya is ahead with 41.4%, while Jubilee's Kiraitu Murungi is second with 29%. Kilemi Mwiria, who recently resigned as President Kenyatta's advisor on education, comes in a distant third, with only 6.3% of the respondents saying they would want him to become the next Meru governor. 19.6% of voters are yet to decide who is fit to be the county's chief executive. According to the poll, Mithika Linturi is the most preferred senatorial candidate with 35.6% in a contest that has 49% of voters yet to decide. The poll shows Jubilee is the most popular party in Meru with a 63% support, while the National Super Alliance NASA hold 15.5%. During the poll conducted between the 29th and the 31st of March, 1,350 respondents were interviewed to represent the 900,860 voters in Meru. Hassan Mugambi, Citizen TV.
Thank you, Hassan. Now, a 9 billion shilling irrigation initiative for counties has been launched with a call for more efforts to ease effects of the raging drought. But as governors signed the funding agreement, they criticized the government for allegedly starving counties of cash. Sylvia Chibet reports.
At least 10,400 households are set to benefit from the small-scale irrigation and value addition project collectively funded by the African Development Bank, the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program, and the government to the tune of 8.8 billion shillings.
This project will cover not less than 3,000 hectares. Our focus as a government and both county and national government is to see that Kenyans are food secure.
11 counties, including Bomet, Nyandarua, Nyeri, Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Murang'a, Machakos, Kitui, Makueni, Tana River, and Kajiado, will receive monies to set up or rehabilitate existing irrigation schemes. The initiative coming at the backdrop of a raging drought that has left more than 3 million people at risk of starvation. But even as the Council of Governors signed the agreement, counties are facing a cash crunch, ostensibly because the funds management portal IFMIS stalled since the 3rd of April. Governors claim operations have ground to a halt, development projects have stagnated, and contractors are becoming restive.
It is actually to ground the work, to bring it to a standstill, the work that is happening within the county.
How else would you explain a situation where both levels of government are served by the same IFMIS? At the national level, there are no challenges, but in the counties, there are serious challenges.
Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich, however, clarifies that the IFMIS had been deliberately switched off to bring in more coolers as the servers were overheating, a temporary event that only lasted for a weekend. Still, the Council of Governors believe IFMIS is being abused to inconvenience counties.
Because IFMIS is not sacrosanct. It is not like a religion. It is just a process of spending resources. So if it becomes an impediment to the counties spending resources and delivering services, then alternatives must be found.
Governors are also unhappy that President Kenyatta assented to the appropriation bill before the mediation between the two houses of parliament was concluded. It means, according to them, the president ignored Senate's input in a law that directly impacts on their jurisdiction.
We are approaching a situation where the national government will be spending resources for the next financial year. And then we are faced with an election, and then after election, government will come into place, and there are no resources to spend. So you can see the mess.
A disgruntled Council of Governors now hopes to go to court, hoping to find favor with the judiciary, where it has failed to get the same from the presidency and parliament. But as far as the IFMIS mode of payment is concerned, it appears its hands are tied. Sylvia Chebet, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Sylvia. Now, in other news, you've probably seen the horrific video. A clip showing the brutal punishment of pupils at a primary school in Juja has sparked outrage on social media platforms. And in the wake of demands for action against the teachers, a parent has told Citizen TV that her son was left with lifelong scars after being caned by his teacher. The outlawed practice is widespread in rural schools, as Mercy Kandie found out.
It's punishment allegedly meted out to pupils at Thiririka School in Juja. A teacher beating the students in what looks like the staff room, each student lining up for the caning. The form of punishment was outlawed in 2001. Another recording in Mwimbi Primary School in Meru. 16 years since the corporal punishment in schools was banned, it goes on unabated, students suffering in silence. It's playtime in Matara village, Gatundu, Kiambu County. The children enjoy a game of football. Dennis, not his real name, is just back from the hospital, so this game is part of a healing process. He is still healing from the beatings by his nursery school teacher, what his mother initially thought was nothing serious.
Akakuja akaniambia, "Mam, hebu guza hapa hivi kwa kichwa usikie." Nikamuuliza nini umefanya. Kaniambia ni mwalimu alinigoga hapa. Nikamuuliza na nini? Na pipe. Haya. Sasa mimi nikaona labda mtoto haelewi venye anasema.
The trips to school would see Dennis become an introvert And when his mother wanted to clean his school clothes, her son would be hesitant to remove his clothes.
Akaniambia hapana, wacha nivae kwanza. Nikamwambia hapana, leta hivi, hakuna watu hapa nje. Sasa alitoka nje, mimi nilisikia tu kulia. Sababu huku kwa magoti alikuwa amevula. Sasa unaona venye mitalo, sasa venye alikuwa anachapwa, mitalo imejaa huku kwa miguu. Nikamwangalia akapinduka kwa mgongo, amechapwa huku kwa mgongo, alikuwa amevula.
Dennis, a pupil at the school, had allegedly been assaulted several times by his teacher in the name of punishment. The 5-year-old not understanding fully how much his health had deteriorated. He would later develop kidney complications. After 3 weeks in hospital, Dennis was discharged on Tuesday.
Tazemi daktari alikuja akaniambia mtoto anaonekana kuda kitu kingine ilikuwa imemgonga. Kitu either kama mawe, kitu either ngumi ama mawe. Labda akaniambia labda niulize mtoto nini ilikuwa imemgonga. Sasa wenyewe wakauliza mtoto nini ilikugonga hapa kwa tumbo. Mtoto mwenyewe ndiye alisema mwalimu ndiye alikuwa amemgonga ngumi hapa kwa tumbo. Akaniambia hiyo ngumi bando hata ndio inafanya hiyo kidney nyingine ikose kuwa, kwa sababu iko na injury bado ndio inafanya kidney yake ya ikuperform.
The teacher would foot half of the hospital bill after allegedly admitting to the act. The matter, Dennis's mother says, is in court. The teacher was released on bond and will appear for mention on 16th May. Education experts say despite the ban, corporal punishment is rife in rural schools.
There is very little being done by the authorities in that line to make sure that this does not happen. And parents are not capable of doing anything about it. Many of them are not capable.
Experts warn that the brutal form of punishment intimidates the child, what has also been linked to bullying in secondary schools.
Experts attribute the continuing of corporal punishment in most schools to the fact that teachers could be frustrated, lacking alternative means of disciplining the children. What experts say could be as simple as talking to the child or withdrawing certain privileges. Marcy Kandie, Citizen TV, Nairobi County.
Terrible story. Thank you, Mercy. Now, 3 police officers have been shot and critically injured during a firefight with bandits in Baringo County. The officers have been airlifted to Nairobi for specialized treatment.
One police officer was shot during a fierce gun battle with bandits in Akuchati's area of Tiati constituency, Baringo County. Police say several bandits are believed to have been injured before they slithered into the wild and are being sought. In a second incident, a contingent of police officers was pursuing bandits in Arabal area of Baringo South constituency when they came under attack. 2 officers sustained serious injuries during the incident that comes in the wake of a joint Kenya Defence Forces and police operation to restore order in the region. The 3 police officers have been airlifted to Nairobi for specialized treatment.
Tumerecover bunduki ya AK ikiwa na risasi 17. Leo kulikuwa na ufiatanaji wa risasi mkali sana ili ya Kuchatis, ambayo ofisa mmoja alipigwa risasi.
Tiati residents have accused security forces of burning down their manyatas. The local police commander Peter Ndungu, however, says that the huts caught fire during the gun battle with the bandits.
Wale wahalifu tunapigana nao, mahali tunawapata wanatupigia kwa nyumba, na zile risasi tunatumia ama zile silaha tunatumia nao wanatumia inahakisha moto kwa hiyo nyumba, sababu hiyo nyumba ni manyata na vyenye imejengwa hata wanatupigia ndani. Kwa hivyo ukabilianaji wa risasi saa zingine moto inawaka.
Ndungu also defended the police against claims that they looted shops and used excessive force on Monday.
Wale watu tunakabiliana nao ni watu wa mamejiami, sababu wakati hata huu naongea tuko na majeruhi 3. Askari wamepigwa risasi.
In a related incident, a police reservist was seriously injured after a known number of bandits raided a Roar shopping center in Elgeyo Marakwet County.
All right, we're going to take a quick break now. We're asking you the question tonight: has the Jubilee government delivered on its promises? Of course, our guest tonight is the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Office of the President, Nzioka Waito. In fact, many of you tweets coming in thick and fast. Juguna Njoki, you say, no cathedral was ever built in one day. Jubilee has and well tried to implement what it promised. Okay, and Isaac Muthusi, you say, no, Jubilee has not delivered, and they can't. Let's think of NASA. One more. Ambassador Steve Bogwa, you say, Bonanzioka and team should continue sharing details of what the government has done so far. That's what we're going to be asking Nzioka Waita in a short while. Stay with us. SMS number 22422. Twitter handles at Nzioka Waita, at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya. Hashtag, as always, JKLive. JKLive takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.